Okay, so today we're going to have a little relationship discussion. Always fun because, relationships are great, right? So in this case, we're going to actually analyze 3 people, and that's usual in relationship patterns because often people leave someone for someone else, and so that is definitely something that needs to be discussed. Why are they doing this? What has happened? What is going on between the 2 and then the 3. So in this case, we're going to use the original relationship of Olivia Wilde and Jason Sudeikis, and then we're going to add in Mr. Watermelon Sugar himself, Harry Styles. So first and foremost, it's very important to understand each one of these persons' individual dynamics, psychological dynamics, what they're going for in life. And so we'll take a look at Olivia Wilde first. And we're using, as always, the forensics of astrology and psychology because we're using our observations of her in her working capacity and whatever PR we've been offered. So just in accordance with her chart, when it comes to relationships, Olivia wants a really deep commitment. She has Mars in Scorpio opposing her Juno in Taurus. So she wants this deep commitment, and she's had a hard time finding it because men in a patriarchy tend to, they tend to want to not be as committed as some of the women might want to be in that binary patriarchal system. So anyway, here's Olivia's chart. And as you can see, that Mars opposing that Juno, but she also wants variety within her partnership because she has the moon in Gemini. That does require some sort of variety from one's partner, so the ability to be multi-talented, so that it's entertaining to her. And she also needs a deep kind of intellectual stimulation within the relationship. That's her Venus in Aquarius. She requires that. And she also has unusual values that differ from the patriarchal society's values. So she wants a different kind of relationship, not an ordinary patriarchal relationship. She has issues with being betrayed and then betraying in retaliation because her South Node is in Sagittarius with her Uranus in Sagittarius conjunct it. So she does have that, she gets very impulsive and angry when she's been betrayed. That's that Mars in Scorpio. And that's the betrayal issue. And the impulsivity is the South Node in Sagittarius. So she will do something that will hurt the other person if she can. And that would be her general dynamics. Now we're going to go to Jason Sudeikis. She's a little bit older. Here's his chart. And he's, first of all, he's a comedian. People who are comedians tend to have this dynamic of like almost manic depression, where they're very, very on when they're on, and they're very, very off when they're off. He's got that signature, but he also has this need to be worshipped within a relationship. He has Venus in Leo conjunct his Juno. Again, Juno is a partner of Zeus. So she's the primary partner that we look at. It also has to do with issues of jealousy within relationships because of how Juno behaved in mythology. So he really, and that's actually, well, we'll get to we'll get to the composites between these people, but needless to say that somebody who has Venus in Leo, especially conjunct Juno, is needing lots of partners in order to feel validated and worshipped. It's also square his nodes, so his past ego orientation, his future ego orientation are kind of blocked up by this Venus in Leo and Juno, and that has to do with his issues with commitment. He has issues with committing, and he also has issues with cheating. So his humor tends to override everything else in a relationship, you know, and that's part of the wanting to be worshipped and paid attention to at all moments in time and be praised. And that can be really, really exhausting in a relationship. His Mercury in Aquarius opposing his Jupiter retrograde. I'm sorry, his Mercury in Libra opposing his Jupiter retrograde in Aries is, I mean, that's just like total, like, verbal domination through humor that actually doesn't allow him to bond with others, because it's the opposition. That's what keeps him from actually having a bond with other people. And his Pisces moon is his deceptions with humor to cover up all those flaws that he has in relationships that probably really turned Olivia off, to be honest. Now we've got Harry, Mr. Harry. He's a little bit younger. He needs like absolute differentness in his relationships, career, and with his sexual drive at home and in work, because he has Mars in Aquarius conjunct his IC, and his Sun is conjunct his Venus in Aquarius, and the 4th. So everything has to be different for him. He wants, you know, he wants to date older women because it's Aquarius in the 4th, you know. He wants to appear gender fluid because his Mars is in Aquarius. He wants to be differently gendered. He wants to define heterosexuality differently, which is something that is necessary in a patriarchy. Undoubtedly, that's a little something that attracted Olivia, right? She has those different values, different relationship values. Jason Sudeikis does not. He's got those ordinary patriarchal relationship values. You know, and he has the moon in Libra in the 12th, and Jupiter in Scorpio in the 1st, and it just shows you how he challenges gender stereotypes, because the 12th is Pisces. It's very fluid, and Libra is very balanced, the equilibrium there, and his Jupiter in Scorpio in the 1st is I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to implement my special destiny no matter what. I'm going to hang on to that with like a death grip, and I will get it. And so therefore he's had a very fated life. And also because he has Pluto conjunct the North Node. North Node's in Sag, Pluto's in Scorpio. It does give a different definition to it. It makes it so that, you know, he's moving in the direction he needs to move in, but he needs to further develop the Sagittarian side of himself, free himself up further as he moves along, and so on. So there, we've done them all individually. I didn't put my finger up for Harry Styles' chart, but there you go, Harry Styles' chart right there. All right, so now here comes the part where we're going to analyze their relationships. In the end, we will do a reading to see where this is all going. But in all honesty, Olivia Wilde and Jason Sudeikis have a ton of issues between the two of them. They have known each other many, many times in many past lives. This is a very old dynamic for them, and it's one that has to be worked through. I would honestly say ended, because here they are in Sinistry right now, Jason Sudeikis and Olivia Wilde. So you can see that. You can see the connections. They have a lot of karma between them. Her Mars is on his South Node. I mean, she's got this ultimate anger, Mars and Scorpio on his South Node in Scorpio, with his past orientation of personality and his betrayal, his orientation toward betrayal. They have that deep, long-lasting relationship because his Neptune is conjunct her South Node. So again, he appeared to be some ideal man who was humorous, who would be sweet and gentle, and then in reality, he was very, I'm sure, bipolar and difficult to manage within a relationship. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say cheater. I mean, it looks like he's a cheater in his individual chart. It looks like between the two of them, cheating is the issue. Betrayal, you know? It's because his Neptune is conjunct her South Node in Sagittarius, there's issues with freedom and lying. He wants to be free to pursue all sorts of relationships, but he wants that typical patriarchal, long-standing binary relationship of marriage, because that he doesn't feel like he fits in or like he's right unless he's in that kind of marriage, because he has Pluto in Libra. And the entire generation of Pluto in Libra is like that. Definitely. It's just all about relationships and friends with benefits and commitment, and it's just, they have a very hard time with it. And they're all the children of divorce, mostly. And then his Mars in Gemini is conjunct her North Node, you know, and that's what drew her to him, because it created this feeling that he'd have a very intellectual bond with her. But their Venuses are opposed, you know, and that's important. She has Venus in Aquarius. He has Venus in Leo. She can see the bigger picture of objective love. He is narcissistic. He's very self-centered, you know, and so his narcissism opposes her values. Their sons are opposed. Their career values are opposing. You know, he's a silly comedian who does voices for Epic, and she's somebody who wants to seriously direct and change the way femininity is perceived in Hollywood. So yeah, they really don't have they don't have a great chance of actually being able to bond, these two. And his Uranus and Scorpio is on her Pluto. He's deeply traumatized her. I mean, with that signature, he's traumatized her so much that she doesn't want to be in any kind of normal relationship ever again, which is necessary for her, because she needs to concentrate on her career so that she can fulfill her purpose as a woman who helps to end the patriarchal definition of femininity. And Harry Styles is a good step on that way, to be honest. I really don't see it as a long-lasting relationship, but they definitely have a connection. I mean, there's social growth that can happen because of their relationship. His Jupiter is conjunct her Saturn in Scorpio retrograde, and so that involves growth and society. And in Scorpio, it's like sexual values and core emotional orientation. So, you know, femininity can be brought forth in a different way just because of their relationship. His moon's conjunct his Mercury, which is different from his moon, is conjunct her Venus in Aquarius. So there's that intellectual connection, that verbal connection. He talks differently than other men that she's known, and that's a real attraction for her. Their nodes are opposite, so that could cause some tension between them when, you know, you have your South nodes in Taurus and their North nodes in Taurus. It's like they're going where you've already been, so it can either cause tension between the two of you, or it can cause transformation. Now, there's composites for all of these, and it all just feeds into the same things that I've been saying. I mean, their composite moon is conjunct their composite Juno in Leo, and it's a good pairing in terms of creativity and development. And the sun, their composite sun is on their composite South node, and that would help them to develop their careers. So really, it's a good pairing. I don't know how long it's going to last, but it's certainly something that she needs after Jason Sudeikis, who is a patriarchal pairing, and really, who needs that? Aren't we all just a little tired of men who want to be ordinary? You know, I want to be in this relationship, but I also want to go out and secretly cheat, because that is just so much fun. And yet I want this ultimate codependent romantic relationship where a woman takes absolute care of me, and I can still go out and cheat with other women. So that's just an ordinary relationship, patriarchal. We don't play that way. You know, that's kind of boring to us. So let's do a little exercise right now. We're going to take our tarot cards out. Tarot cards. And we are going to see what the likely outcome is for the three of them in this relationship. So let's see if we can get any kind of coherent answer. So I'll be back in just a moment. a penguin. Keep getting penguins over and over. Okay, so the number I got to shuffle to was 7, which is generally a very faded number. And then all those penguins. Penguins can mean metamorphosis or transformation. So if you see them in dreams, they can be a portal to different sides of reality, different sides of metaphysical existence. All right, let's see what we get for the likely outcome. It's a felicitous outcome for the new relationship. Here's a picture right now. Okay. All right, you notice that devil there. Everybody always freaks out when you hear the devil. Oh my God. But if you notice on the devil card, there are 2 little figures on there, and they echo the lovers there. So it tends to actually go along with the Lover's card and the 2 of Cups. So you can see that a decision has been made. There's the divorce energy from the 8 of Wands, overturn the King of Pentacles. Is older, so that definitely would represent Jason Sudeikis. And I would use the reversed High Priestess to indicate Olivia Wilde, but she's actually... yeah, she would be indicated through there. You can see the breakup of their marriage. You can see that it was because of some deep problem. That's the devil. That's the crack. That's the cheating. That's the lying. That's the betrayal. That's the devil. And then the world is down on the overturned 2 of Swords, the decision that she's already made that makes her want to develop something that she already has in terms of spiritual growth or a deeper understanding of existence. So she's kind of opened herself up to the world for it with the choice that she made involving getting rid of this very negative relationship. You can see the strength of the Sun down at the bottom and the King of Swords, and then that's the divorce, and then the fruition of the 9 of Pentacles. There's a little bit of a beat up there that she's going to have to take, but she will be happy in the end. Really, I think this is mostly about Olivia, and the other 2 are kind of like sideways. So she broke up a relationship that she needed to break up, one that was very unhealthy for her. Jason Sudeikis was unhealthy for her. Jason Sudeikis would be unhealthy for a lot of people, because Jason Sudeikis has issues with commitment because Jason Sudeikis is too into himself. Olivia's into giving back to the world, so that just doesn't work. Harry is into changing gender norms, and that goes along with her wishing to change the world. So that relationship, no matter how long it may last, is much healthier for her than her previous relationship with Jason Sudeikis. So well done, Olivia. Well done, Harry. Jason, take a time out and think about your behavior. All right, that's all for now, and I will see you lovely people later. Peace.